You know that feeling, right? That little voice in your head that says you should be sharing your faith, but then, boom, fear kicks in, guilt pales on, and you just freeze. Well, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. And today we're going to dive into a book that tackles this head on. It's called Proclaiming the Gospel of the Kingdom, and it offers a totally fresh perspective and a real practical roadmap for anyone who's ever felt stuck.
Right from the get-go, the book drops this line, and man, it hits home because it's just so true. See, it's not talking about a crisis of empty seats or low funds. Nope, it's a quiet, internal crisis. It's that feeling of knowing what you're supposed to do, share the good news, but being completely paralyzed when the moment actually arrives.
And look, the author makes it super clear right away, this isn't about making anyone feel bad. Not at all. This whole struggle is framed as something we all go through. It's not some personal failure on your part, but a really common challenge that's usually rooted in three big specific feelings.
So, first up, you've got guilt. Oh yeah, you know that one. It's that nagging thought that you should be doing more, saying more, but you're just not. It's this heavy weight that so many of us carry.
And then, of course, there's fear. The fear of what? Rejection, that awkward silence, saying the absolute wrong thing. It's that feeling of just being frozen, like you can't break through this invisible wall. For so many people, this is the #1 barrier.
And finally, there's that deep feeling of just not being enough, inadequacy. You know that, what if they ask me a question I can't answer feeling? You're convinced you don't have enough theology degrees or you won't have the perfect comeback if someone challenges you.
So the book pretty much asks you directly, do you get nervous sharing your faith? I mean, if any of that stuff, the guilt, the fear, that feeling of inadequacy, if any of it rings a bell, then this book is 100% for you. It starts by saying, hey, it's okay to feel that way, we get it.
Okay, so after laying out the problem we all feel, the author flips the script and moves right to the solution. And here's the cool part. It's not about just trying harder or memorizing a bunch of lines. No, it's about a complete and honestly a really freeing shift in how we see the whole thing. And this is the big idea that changes everything. The book basically says, we've been thinking about this all wrong. This isn't about promoting a religion. It's not about getting people to join a club. It is a rescue mission.
And this really breaks down that mental shift for us. Think of it this way. We are not salespeople trying to hit a quota. We're not pushing a product. We are ambassadors. Our job is just to deliver a message from our King. I mean, once you really get that, all the pressure to perform, it just melts away.
And this right here, this quote is a total game changer. Success in evangelism is not someone saying yes. Success in evangelism is faithfulness. Just let that sink in for a second. Our job isn't to get a yes. Our job is just to be faithful. That totally takes away the fear of failure and just frees us up to share. All right, so this book isn't just about feeling inspired. It actually gives you a clear step-by-step game plan. It lays out this really practical path, a journey with 4 clear stages that literally anyone can learn and follow. And here's the whole journey in one simple graphic. It's a 4-part process: connect, convey, commit, and cultivate. You can see how it just flows so naturally, right? It starts with friendship and goes all the way to making a disciple. Let's just quickly touch on each one. So stage 1 is connect, and it's based on this simple but really profound idea that everything, and I mean everything, starts with a real relationship. It's about building trust. Because you know what? Trust is the key that unlocks the door for truth. The focus here isn't on a project, it's on a person.
Okay, so once you have that trust, the path just naturally leads to stage 2, convey. This is where you get to clearly and simply share the gospel. And we're not talking about a watered-down version. We're talking the full story. God's amazing grace, our very real problem, and His incredible solution.
From there, we move to commitment. The book makes this great point that the gospel isn't just a news report, it's an invitation. It demands a response. So this stage is all about lovingly, clearly inviting someone to make that personal decision to follow Jesus.
And last, but definitely not least, we have stage 4, cultivate. And this is so important. The journey doesn't end when someone says yes. Come on, that's where it really begins. This whole stage is about discipleship, helping new believers grow, get plugged into community, and eventually start their own mission.
Which brings us to a really critical point the book makes. The goal of all this, the whole point of the Great Commission, was never just about racking up converts. No, it's something so much deeper, so much richer.
And you can see the difference so clearly here. A convert might just pray a prayer or make a one-time decision, but a disciple follows a king. They surrender their whole allegiance. See, the real goal has always been transformation, not just a transaction.
And this is where the vision gets absolutely huge. The book argues that when we actually do this, when we follow this pathway, it doesn't just change one person's life. It has the potential to kickstart an entire movement.
So the whole model is built for what the book calls spiritual multiplication. It's actually a pretty simple process when you break it down. Step 1, you share the gospel. Step 2, you disciple that new believer. But here's the crucial part. Step 3, you train them to do the exact same thing. So you're not just adding one believer at a time, it's about multiplication. It's about exponential growth.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. By changing how we see it, by redefining what success even looks like, and by having a clear path to follow, suddenly, what felt like this heavy burden of guilt and fear, it transforms into an incredible privilege. It actually becomes an exciting adventure. And the book leaves us with this one last powerful thought to chew on. You, yes you, might be the very bridge God wants to use to introduce someone to the bridge. Just think about that for a second. There's someone in your life right now, someone you know, who might be just one conversation away from finding hope. So the only question left is, are you going to be the one to build that bridge?